Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Jeffrey Schultz, and I am currently a Master Computer Science student at Concordia University, Chicago. Today I'll be making a series of videos discussing the domain name system, the full name of the DNS. And today I will be making a couple videos, and the first one of these will be on some DNS basics and an introduction to the DNS. So let's get started. So what is the DNS exactly? The DNS is essentially the phone book of the internet. And like I said, DNS stands for the domain name system. And what this is able to do, it translates human domain names, like human readable domain names, into IP addresses. And this is very similar to how a phone book would associate somebody's name with a phone number. So what this exactly does, it's able to translate domain names into IP addresses and vice versa. So what that means is if you type in a name of a website or anywhere you really want to visit on the internet, it's going to pull up, the internet's going to pull up some query results of websites or anything that correlates to that query you just made. So like if I were to type in, for example, cuchicago.edu, which is actually the website for the school I go to, into a search bar, the DNS would connect me directly with the website. Like I said, this can also go in reverse, where if I want to use an IP address and get a website name or a domain name from it, the DNS can also do that, which is in reverse, which is useful in some cases for like maybe making some applications or working with the back end, because most times you're going to use the domain name system for just browsing the internet and being able to maneuver the internet and get to where you want to go. Because if you had to memorize IP addresses for every single website, that would be what you would have to do if the DNS wasn't a thing. And this would be very error prone and inefficient, simply because it would be extremely difficult to remember an IP address associated with each website you visit. It's a lot easier to just remember the name of it. So this is exactly what the DNS does, and that's why it's extremely important in how the internet is able to function as we know it. So moving on, the DNS is a distributed database of name servers. So all that means is it's a global name of basically any name servers that stores and retrieves data associated with each of them. So like I said, if I were to type in cuchicago.edu or Concordia University Chicago, like by itself without a direct URL, you would be able to get the server and the website that is associated with anything relevant to that. But if I were to type in the direct URL, it would take me right to the website, which is associated with its own server and its own IP address. And because the DNS is able to allow users to query all of these things, this makes it an application layer protocol, because it enables communication between users and services through both TCP and UDP. So a little quiz question going over this section. What role does the DNS play on the internet? Option A is it translates domain names to IP addresses. B, it stores website content. C, it acts as an internet browser. Or D, it sends emails. So based on what we just went over, this should be relatively obvious. The answer would be A, it translates domain names to IP addresses, because it's a lot easier to remember the name of a website or remember the name of something that they want to get to, rather than memorizing the IP address that's associated with it. So thank you very much for watching. In the next video, we will be discussing the structure and the hierarchy of the DNS. Thank you very much.